If you're struggling to get consistent daily sales in your Witchy Etsy shop, you may need to create a marketing flywheel, a system that builds sales momentum and can help turn your shop into a more reliable source of revenue. Today, I'm breaking down exactly what a flywheel is and sharing real actionable examples to help you get your sales spinning every single day. Welcome to Hexotica, the inner sanctum for unconventional creatives intent on manifesting and crafting an alternative lifestyle of time, location, and financial freedom. I'm your host, Christine Rice, and this is episode 22. Welcome back to the world of Hexotica. If you have been returning, if you have been watching the previous episodes on YouTube or listening to the podcast, let me know who you are. Give me a hex yeah in the comments, and I will follow you back, or I will follow you somewhere else that I find you on social media if you are promoting your business online. I would love to know who you are, and I would love to support you. And if you're new to the podcast, welcome. This is the place to find information, to learn about the world of entrepreneurship, online business, marketing, self-improvement, a little bit of manifesting, a little bit of travel, digital nomadism, and a little bit of badassery. I'm so glad that you are joining us today. So I'm going to kick this episode off with just a little caveat with talking about what happened last week, because I did not put out the podcast last week. And the reason is I had a little bit of end of the year burnout, a little bit of emotional dysregulation, a little bit of too much of everything, basically. And I don't want to hide this side of being an entrepreneur. I want to actually take you along the journey of the ups and downs with me and be honest with you. I got an email last week that sent me into a tailspin. And I'm going to talk about it in the next episode because I'm going to put out 2 this week to make up for last week to keep on track. And I'm going to talk about this email and what happened to me. And I'm going to talk about emotional regulation in general, because I don't think that in the world of business and entrepreneurship, we hear enough about it. The things that make us really upset and our problems can dysregulate us, but things that are also really exciting can dysregulate us. And emotional regulation, I really believe, is one of the key skills to learn as an entrepreneur. And it's especially true if you're neurodiverse or if you have high sensitivity to people, if you're a bit of an introvert, if you're a bit creative. Things can really put you into a tailspin and they can lead to self-sabotage, right? And I have learned numerous skills over the many years I've been self-employed, 9 years as a social media manager. 8 years before that, I was running my little Etsy business, which I'll talk a little bit about in this episode. And though you can become more skilled at regulating yourself, there's always going to be different seasons in life where there's a bit more on your plate than other times when life can be a bit more challenging. Things might be happening in your personal life. And learning how to let go of some things and to regulate your emotions and to calm your nervous system, it becomes an absolutely critical skill in order to keep going. And the trick is to not let it stop us, right? So that's kind of what happened to me last week, and I'm going to talk about it in detail in the next episode. This episode, I'm going to be talking about your Witchy Etsy shop. Because I know so many witches have Etsy shops, so many creative and unconventional women and gender diverse people start their online side hustles or businesses with an Etsy shop. So whether you're selling digital products or manufactured products or AI products or handmade products, preferably, Etsy is a great way to make an income. But it's very difficult to create consistent daily sales on Etsy when you don't have a marketing flywheel. So that is what I'm going to explain how to get today. So if you've been adding new listings of Hexotic Witchy products every single week, and you've got all your great quality photos, You've got your search engine optimizing, all your titles, your descriptions, your tags, and you're using the SEO tools like I talked about in the previous episode, then you are doing a lot of hard work, right? And you're getting shop views. You might be getting product saves, and maybe even you get a few sales here and there, right? Woohoo! It feels so good when you first start making money online, right? But by the left tit of Hecate, you cannot get daily consistent sales no matter how hard you try. And that's what we want, right? So if it's driving you freaking crazy because you are working so hard at Etsy and you are very, very passionate about what you are making, and you really, really want to manifest that money into your bank account, then this episode is for you. Let me tell you what I have learned after 8 years of running an Etsy shop way back when it first started, followed by 9 years working as a freelance social media manager and marketing consultant and all around marketing geek, I would say. I love marketing. Most witchy Etsy shop owners, they don't really have a traffic problem, especially if you're getting a few sales here and there. They have a momentum problem, right? But the good news is that momentum, it is something that you can actually build. It is something that you can design. In fact, you should have momentum in your business. If you are a freelance service provider, for example, we call it keeping your pipeline full. Always having new clients coming into your pipeline that you can do consults with or that you could take on as project clients for your services. That is the goal of our marketing, so that we don't have to hustle for the next dollar every time we show up online. So we can build this marketing flywheel with strategic, repeatable systems, and we can do it without burning ourselves out. That is our goal, right? So to help you envision what's possible for your witchy Etsy shop, I'm going to introduce you to the concept of the marketing flywheel and how it can help you bring in consistent daily sales. And I'll give you a marketing flywheel example to illustrate what it's like. So I'm going to give you some ideas that you can take today to use to start creating this flywheel for your own Etsy shop. So if you've ever dreamed of crafting a super self-reliant AF alternative lifestyle of time, location, and financial freedom, then you need a proven marketing strategy to help you manifest that money and to manifest it fast AF. So let's clear up first the reasons why it's so hard to get consistent sales on Etsy, because it's good to kind of diagnose what the issues may be and what it isn't. When sales don't roll in, your assumption might be that Etsy is too saturated, right? Or that the SEOing is too hard, or the algorithm is too heavy a curse to lift, right? And hopefully that is where your mistaken assumptions go instead of to blame yourself. Because it's so easy when you're a beginner to unfortunately think that maybe you are just not cut out for selling online, right? That your products suck and that you suck. And that is the worst possible way to think, right? We don't want to go there. So it's better to assume that it's something out in the Etsy marketplace that is controllable. Do not blame yourself, especially if you are a beginner. Like, it's okay to have products that aren't very polished, photos that aren't polished, to not make any sales for a year until you learn what is actually wanted in the market, right? So I want to just clear that out of the way, that if you are blaming yourself, you need to separate the stories and the drama from your mind from what is actually happening and approach the issue like a scientist, because that is one of the Marketican mindsets that we need to embrace. If you're going to become a Marketican, it's to look at these problems as solvable. So please, please, please try to separate that narrative drama from your brat brain and the factual efforts that you're making to become a Marketican. Because the truth is that selling takes practice, right? Marketing takes practice. And it's not a failure of your mindset or of manifesting magic, it's often just a missing system. Many sellers rely on Etsy SEO and social media to do all their heavy lifting, right? While they are creating beautiful, intentional products without any system in place to circulate that traffic back into their shop consistently. So with online business in general, not just on Etsy, you would be amazed at how many sellers are making a killing with subpar or even mediocre products and services because they simply know how to kick ass with their marketing. It's not always the most talented artists who do well. More often, it's just the sellers who understand how to sell and how to generate consistent traffic to their Etsy shop. Now, the Etsy marketplace engine, it has a shit ton of traffic, right? It's got a shit ton of traffic to compete with other sellers as well. So if you're already getting a trickle of sales from within that, then your offers are kind of already validated, right? And your previous happy customers can testify to that. But then the trick now is to ramp up that traffic, and not just from Etsy either, where the competition is as fierce as my mini Foxy is when she guards her chicken treat-filled puzzle toy from my Jack Russell Moochie. Both dogs are named after gangsters, by the way. The key is to not make Etsy the center spoke of your wheel. Your customers and followers are the center of the wheel, not your shop or website. The aim is to circulate those who view and buy from your shop to keep them coming back and to see and buy more, right? And that's what a marketing flywheel can do for you. So now let's talk about what a marketing flywheel is exactly and why it works better than constant hustle. Now, you aren't just attracting your dream customers to your Etsy shop, right? You are keeping them engaged within a marketing ecosystem. Now, think of this ecosystem as a spinning pentacle, let's say. Etsy is just one point, but the energy and activity of your fans and customers circulate through all 5 points over and over. A marketing flywheel is self-reinforcing. It's not the same as a marketing sales funnel, which is a single path where someone goes from not knowing anything about your brand to becoming a buyer and a follower. A funnel is basically an upside down triangle, right? It is not designed to circulate people through the top of the funnel over and over. A marketing flywheel is a circle, right? Obviously. It can have one or more sales funnels within it, but the point of it is to not just to convert followers into buyers like the funnel does. It is to get those buyers and followers to return, or for them to bring new buyers and followers into your brand world for you. A marketing flywheel is the ultimate brand loyalty and retention strategy. So here's a marketing flywheel example for your Witchy Etsy shop. Now, the Etsy algorithm no longer rewards sellers with a killer sales funnel. It does not reward you for simply getting the sale and then maybe carrying off that buyer elsewhere to your website or your email sequence, right? It now rewards sellers with a killer marketing flywheel. Especially with the latest updates this year in 2025, Etsy will give a visibility boost to shops that don't just have perfectly polished SEO, high quality photos, and great products. These days, it's rewarding shops that have a high number of behavioral metrics. Behavioral metrics that Etsy loves to see include social proof in the form of a high number of shoppers favoriting your shop and your products, early uptakes. If new listings get lots of love really fast, Etsy will show it more often in the search results, for example, or personalization. Etsy works more like Instagram or TikTok than like Google these days. So if you're following all the witch talk videos on TikTok, for example, that is what TikTok is going to keep showing you. It's less mechanical than it used to be, basically. And that's what Etsy works like. So you can then strategically design your marketing to encourage the behavioral metrics that you desire. Previously, Marketing aimed at just getting the eyeballs into your shop and hoping they'll buy, right? But now we're marketing to encourage a range of behaviors besides just coming to visit or buy. But if all this sounds bloody complicated or just too much, then I've got some good news for you, okay? So it's actually just 3 different stages. Whew, right? So let's break down what each of these stages is. So stage 1 is attraction. Attract and woo the right witchy buyer. Similar to what you do at the top of a sales funnel, you want to attract your dream customer into your shop with valuable and super relevant content that speaks just to them, speaks their language, their aesthetic. Niching down on your type of product or on your buyer is critical here. And if the word niching down gives you the heebie-jeebies, go back and listen to episode 7, where I talk about the 2 different types of niching. There is a niche that really suits multi-interested, passionate, neurospicy people. You don't have to just do one thing all the time and be boring. Okay, there's 2 different ways to go about it. So with niching down and attracting your right buyer, we are talking here about Etsy SEO, which is a non-negotiable for success on Etsy. Listen to the previous episode for details about that. We're talking about witchy branding and aesthetics because we are attracting witches, right? Content and resources related to witchcraft would attract that buyer. And we're talking about traffic sources, organic, paid, and rented. Rented being collaborations with people who have your desired audience. So the essence of this attraction phase of the flywheel is brand cohesion. Branding is a personality. It's definitely not just colors, fonts, and a logo. People return to a brand for the brand's personality, just like they do for their friends. Now, consider your witchy Etsy shop was a living woman. A brand persona should have a specific look, a way of talking, a way of showing up, and most importantly, an energy. That energy is what attracts people. It's what makes people feel something. Powerful, inspired, adventurous, sexy, cheeky. She serves up some big addictive feelings, and people keep coming back for more. They can't get enough. The witchy Etsy sellers who have strong brand personas, in addition to the usual marketing tactics, are the ones who get repeat buyers. And not just buyers, they get fans. Now, don't feel bad if this makes you feel like an envious, generic-ass dog turd seller, because I know it did for me when I first learned about this way back when, right? Because the good news is that not only can you learn how to create a magnetic brand persona, but it's also so much fun. Crafting a highly contagious brand persona is something that you can creatively workshop over just a few days. And in my Swan Transformation Marketing Strategy Academy, this is one of the key things that I can help you craft in detail from the start. It's the S in the Swan, the signature systems. Stage 2 is engagement. You're not just selling, you're building a relationship. Once you have your dream customer's attention, you want to start building relationships and trust. Now, the way to do this is through meaningful, energetically aligned interactions. Engagement that makes people comment "Hex yeah" on your content. Ways to encourage Hex yeah engagement on your content and in your shop include things like personalized communication. Use your dream customer's name in every Etsy convo, email, and even in any tangible packaging. Give them a customized experience, either with what you're making or in a savvy segmented email sequence, for example. Providing killer information and resources that help them achieve their dreams, give them hope, and lessen their anxieties. One of the ways that I used to do this was to always send both a pre and a post thank you message to all of my Etsy buyers. But if you really wanted to go above and beyond, you could do a follow-up message a few weeks later just to check in. Follow-up messages are also great for reminding your customer to leave a review for you. Or if they are not 100% satisfied, it gives them a chance to privately give you feedback. Now, this would work well if you continue to engage with your customer either on your content or on theirs, if they have tagged your brand publicly. Stage 3 is delight. Craft a memorable, wow-worthy experience for your customer. Now, this is where the real magic of the marketing flywheel truly shines. If you aim to exceed your customers' expectations, then you could turn them into loyal advocate and promoter of your brand for life. Some ways that you could do this include giving exceptional customer service and support. Timely assurance being one of the most important, I found. People often just want to know that they're being cared for, and they will allow a package to be late or something to go wrong as long as they know that you fucking care. Loyalty and referral programs, discounts, bonus gifts, and even Easter eggs. Encouraging user-generated content and reviews, plus a hub to share them in. There are so many creative ways that you can delight people, right? It's about reaching out to start conversations in the DMs instead of just replying to a comment, for example. From sending handwritten thank you cards with free samples to creating a Witch community for members to share what they make or how they use your products, it is just there's so many ways that you can delight your customers. You can think creatively, like what would give you a surprise if you were to receive a gift in the mail, or create delightful things in a series that triggers your customers' collector's mentality. I must read all of Hexotica's self-reliance rituals emails, for example, which is why I am a big believer in numbering things, by the way. Now, if you want to see an amazing real-life example of this, check out this Facebook group created by a goth Christmas wreath maker. This amazing woman has made these Gothmas wreaths and has grown a Facebook group to over 20,000 Gothmas fans. This is like Christmas for goth, right? Goth Christmas. In case you're like wondering, what the hell is she talking about? Now she has this entire community to share her handmade wreaths and for everyone to share their Gothic Christmas creations in. And this is like how you do it. She has a real cult brand on her hands with this. Like, it's amazing, the community that she has created. And it's one of the most fun Facebook groups that I've joined in a long time. So imagine if you were able to share your new Etsy listings in a group like that of like 20,000 raving fans who love what you've created for them, and they love what you do, and they love sharing what they do. And you share a new Etsy listing, it's going to get so much love, right? And when Etsy sees all that love coming at that new Etsy listing, it's going to give that listing an immediate boost. And this is what I'm talking about. This is how a flywheel works. You've got all this fan community coming behind everything that you do, pushing it up as soon as it gets released. That is what creates a marketing flywheel, a self-generating, self-perpetuating pentacle of activity. And you don't have to hustle as much. So ask yourself, what would make an experience with your brand memorable? What makes your brand remarkable? And the key here is to think outside of the box. Now, a book that I highly recommend to help you do this is Seth Godin's Purple Cow. It's an amazing book. I have read it probably about 3 times now because it's got so many idea-generating creative ways of looking at how to create remarkable experiences with branding. Highly, highly recommend that. So getting consistent sales equals knowing how to create momentum through savvy marketing. So in summary, consistent sales in your Witchy Etsy shop don't come from working harder or by posting more and more listings. Okay, that can help. But what you really need is energetic momentum. And momentum is built when attraction, engagement, and delight are intentionally crafted into a self-reinforcing marketing flywheel that keeps your people circulating back to you again and again. This isn't about hustling harder or fixing yourself. You are not the problem signet. You're most likely working your ass off in life and doing the best you can already. Nope, this is about working smarter. It's about following a proven marketing flywheel strategy that allows the money-making magic to compound. Build the wheel once, tend it lovingly, and let it spin your shop toward daily sales, loyal fans, and that deliciously self-reliant AF life that you've been dreaming about. Ready to transform your witchy Etsy shop from a hobby to a self-reliant AF profitable business? So if you've been listening up to now, then you must be done making a few bucks here and there, and you are ready to become a money-making marketician. No? You want to generate consistent, reliable income through daily sales? Yeah? Then this is your next move. And I'm not just talking about sales on the front end with your SEO Etsy listings or your Witchy website, right? I'm talking about sales on the back end as well. In your email sequences, your automations, and in your systems that keep that magic compounding long after you log off, right? Well, like money while you sleep money, AKA where the real money lives. So I've got something for you. Grab my free Swan Transformation Marketing Strategy Guidebook if you would like a step-by-step guide to do what is next in your business. This free guide explains every single step in an online marketing step-by-step chronological order, all in a simple checklist form. You can learn all the steps to start and grow your online business, and to learn more about how my Swan marketing programs and courses can get you there faster with my help every step of the way. You'll get over 30 pages that you can print, keep in a notebook on your desk, and refer to for years as you focus on each next step to take. It's suitable for complete noobs to advanced marketicians. This is the guide that I wish I had when I first started my first Etsy-based Gothic burlesque handmade jewelry business over 17 years ago. It's all the most important aspects of marketing that I have learned since then that have helped me become and stay successfully self-employed, earning much more than I did at my last full-time job, including the priceless experience that I gained in the last 9 years as a freelance social media manager, working very closely with online business clients who are running high-converting 6- and 7-figure sales funnels. It's packed with resources, and just for fun, it's pirate themed. You don't need more abundant spells, honey. You need a proven strategy. And when you grab the Swan Guidebook, you'll automatically get subscribed to the Inner Sanctum, Hexotica's primary newsletter for weekly podcast updates and VIP promos. So sign up at swan.hexotica.link and start building sales momentum right away, me hearty. Make your own magic, Signet. Don't wait for someone else to do it for you, and don't wait for the world to change. You have so much witchy power and untapped potential within you, and it deserves to be nurtured and to grow. God knows the world needs more badass spiritual witches like you to help change it right now. Absolutely. So thank you so much for listening, and I will catch you very soon because I'm going to put out another podcast this week on what happened last week with my emotional dysregulation and the email that sent me into a tailspin.